So I feel like we need to talk about something that we see constantly, whether it's social media or women primarily that you're currently coaching or
Yeah.
who have maybe reached out to you about coaching, which is somebody who wants to be a relatively high level running athlete
Or just more than they normally are.
or yeah, taking that next step.
Yeah.
But does it have to be 65 to 70 miles a week of running and training while they're trying to balance motherhood and or they're like a career oriented woman,
Yeah.
but they want to have like both and they're like, is that possible?
Yeah. Well, I think it's interesting because it's different for each person,
Right.
like, and how much time you have, how much time you're willing to put into it, and stuff like that. And I think sometimes people start out running more, and then it's a lot
Or
when
you
you're
get the
running a lot of
or you get
miles.
the burnout. Like
Yeah.
maybe you have the time and I don't even want to say like you're have to be a certain level of committed because I kind of don't feel like that's fair necessarily to say that. Like thinking of myself, like I'm committed, but like we've always said, like I will not train at the detriment of our kids or our family.
Yeah.
And so I think like that's important to say. This is not talking about like somebody who can't get into a rhythm of consistently training. Like it's somebody who wants it bad, but their family comes first, you know? Or maybe they have a really demanding job and that also has to come first because that's what pays the bills or whatever. So it's like, how do you balance? I'm committed, I'm dedicated, but I cannot put in 70 hours, not 70 hours,
70 miles.
70 miles. Hello. I can't put in 70 miles of training and or I don't want to. Like I don't like me personally, I don't want to run 70 miles. And I also don't know that my body can hold up to 70 miles of training a week.
Yeah.
So anyways, I feel like you found through my Boston training. So for reference, I qualified for Boston when I was 5 weeks pregnant with our third child. So by the time he was born, it was pretty much about time to start training
Yeah.
to run Boston, which was like super stressful to me. I wanted it bad, but also, I mean, if you've had a baby, postpartum body, breastfeeding, sleepless nights, and okay, quick, jump into marathon shape. And so I feel like you honed in on how can you run a marathon and like decently well. I wasn't overly proud of Boston, but I was proud of it in the sense that that was a tough season
Yeah.
of life for us of balancing three kids and marathon training.
Well, a lot of stuff that you see on social media is a lot of lots of miles, lots of slow miles,
Right.
don't run hard often or anything like that. And not
Mm-hmm.
everybody has the time to be able to go out and just go for a jog for an hour and a half or an hour every single day. That's just like a huge time commitment because
Right.
it's not just the run, it's getting ready for the run beforehand. And then you get back and you're all sweaty if it's the summer, and then you need to take a shower. And then
Need
you're
to eat.
starving.
Yeah. So many issues. It's such a process.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so much talk about running lots of miles really slow, and that's what's going to make you faster. When in reality, if you just run fast and you get good quality work in on a regular basis,
Right.
that's going to get you fitter quicker. But you have to recover from it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think we have to talk about, it's not just every single run you're blasting it, obviously. Like there is a lot of listening to your body. I think especially talking to the mom who is, maybe breastfeeding, like super postpartum, or honestly has taken a huge, I feel like I've seen a lot on social media, like these moms who have taken a huge chunk of time off, understandably, right? Like they focused on pregnancy and baby life and now they're kind of like, okay, like we're done having kids, like I'm ready now. So like also talking to that mom, like you're not going to jump in and just be like blasting all your runs.
Yeah.
Like, so I think let's talk about, maybe, do you want to jump into like what currently my week looks like and then kind of talk through
Yeah.
what my runs look like?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so we printed off just like, so Clay, for myself or anybody he coaches, like makes a week and you get it ahead of time. So we honestly will sit down generally on Sunday evening and talk through
The week?
what the week, like what days I'm doing what runs to make sure it all fits in our schedule. But also I feel like I should know if I feel like trash one day, if like a kid was sick, I was sick, didn't sleep good for some reason, we obviously adjust. Like you have to adjust. And I think that's like
Yep.
part of learning your body and like adjusting to your lifestyle also, Okay, so you have me down for this coming week. I have 2 days of base runs. Those are 4 miles. Do you want me to just read through
You
the
have
whole
3 days of base runs.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I have 3. Thanks, coach. I have 3 days of base runs. 2 days are 4-mile runs. 1 day is a 3-mile run. I do get always a recovery day, which I love my recovery day to be Sunday. I feel like for us, like it's church day, it's family day, it's Lions day. I don't want to run on Sunday. So Sunday is usually my day off. I have a long run, which I always have a long run, which is 10 to 12 miles. This week, it looks like it's just time on feet.
Yep.
Right? This coming week, because I'm going to do a harder 10 tomorrow. And then I always have 2 workouts per week.
Yep.
Do you want
Sometimes that long run turns into a workout too, though.
Yes. I mean, sometimes it can be literally 3 workouts in a week if we're counting, the 2 pointed workouts and then the long run that's like tomorrow, for example, is 10 miles. 5 of it's going to be whatever pace. And then 5 of it's going to be faster.
Yep.
Faster paced. And then Clay has strength training in there for me, which, I'm going to try to do generally when the kids are napping. And we got weights at the house. Highly recommend if you can afford to do that. It's taken us a long time to get there, but we're finally there so that I don't have to go
to the rotation.
Right. It's too hard, honestly, for me to get out of the house multiple times a week to go do the strength. So I feel like that has fallen by the wayside the last couple of years. So this week then is 34 to 36 miles. So like there's always a range.
Yep.
And it's not stressful.
Nope.
If I'm on the low end, it's fine. If I'm on the higher end, it's fine as long as I haven't like killed myself to get there. So like relatively speaking, pretty low miles. Right now, I'm not full marathon training. I should note that. I am training for an upcoming 8K and then bouncing off of that, going into what I would like to run a PR for a half marathon in the spring. So that's like my current short-term goals. And then later in the year, there'll be another fast, hopefully half marathon, and then ending the year with hopefully CIM full marathon.
So right now the focus is to work on getting some speed in the legs. We're not marathon training, so we're trying to get the turnover there, get moving a little bit quicker, get comfortable running fast.
Yeah.
And then after we get to that point, that's when we transition back into the marathon, and you'll already be comfortable running fast. So then it's just use that comfortableness to go further.
Lengthen it.
Yeah.
Woo! Yeah. So, I mean, do you want to talk through like what each day then looks like my base runs and like what my workouts are this week?
Yeah, let's just go.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, let's go through the workouts because this is the first time you're seeing them.
Yeah, so. I haven't seen them. So first of all, for my base runs, like kind of talking about not like I don't run super slow, to be honest with you. Like I'm bad at running, I guess what most people would consider like the slow, easy miles. I don't stare at my watch ever on base run days. I literally just go by feel. So like whatever my body kind of like sets the pace, which I 99% of the time run outside. Right now it's snowing here in Michigan, so there have been some treadmill days. I feel like it's harder to let my body figure out the pace on a treadmill, which is why I don't love a treadmill, because I'm manually like, how do I feel today setting the pace? So I feel like I love the outdoor runs because I just go, I don't care. It's comfortable. It's as you say, it's conversational pace.
Yeah.
Like I can run with my running buddies and we can be laughing and talking and whatever. So those are base runs.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on the base runs.
Yeah.
And they're like super stressed out about what the pace is and all that sort of stuff.
Or the zones. Everyone's like, I'm in zone this, zone that. I'm like, just go for a run. Also, I feel like it kills the enjoyment. For me personally, at least. Maybe it doesn't for others. But it's like, just run.
Yeah. I mean, when you can go out and run, and you could, if you had a running buddy, if you can chit-chat with them, then you're fine. It doesn't matter what the pace is. There's some people that run super fast and some people that run slow. I mean, some of the best runners in the world run really fast on their base runs.
Right.
But even you, like when you go out for a run and if you feel super tired, I mean, you run slower some days
Oh,
than
totally.
other
That's what and I'm
days.
not stressed about it. Like those are the days that are like do what your body wants to do. And I feel like I have gotten better at
Yep.
that. Yeah. Okay. So then this coming week, I have my long run is just what we call time on feet. So this week, I don't have a pace set for me. It's not a workout in the long run. It's literally, again, time on feet, just doing it.
You're just getting the miles in. That's all it
Mileage.
is.
So workout number 1 this week is a 2-mile warm up, 4 miles at sub T, which I feel like you need to explain that.
Yep.
For me, that's 650 pace and then 1 mile cool down. So I like that workout. That's a comfortable workout for me. Like,
Yeah. So sub T is kind of, it's a pace that is newer for us.
Yeah.
In the past, I've always done just straight threshold pace, which is generally somewhere between 10K and half marathon pace.
Yeah.
You should be able to sustain it for half an hour, 45 minutes, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But there's been a lot of very successful college programs that have kind of incorporated paces that are a little bit faster than threshold and a little bit slower than threshold to work the anaerobic side of it and the aerobic side of it. So the with oxygen and the without oxygen side of it.
Yeah.
And so right now we're trying to get comfortable running fast, and to get comfortable running fast, we want to be efficient running fast, and that's where sub T comes in. So it should be a very comfortably fast workout. Like you shouldn't be having much issues with it at all.
I shouldn't be gassed at the end.
No.
Like I should finish it and be kind of like excited about it. Yeah. Like, whoo, I turned my legs over quick. It felt good, but I'm not dying.
No, it was a good solid workout and that's it.
Yeah. So I'm excited about that one. I guess neither of them are that bad this week. Workout number 2. Oh,
and just to pause, like that workout, like that's some faster mileage, right? But because the pace is dialed into you and who you are as an athlete,
right,
the next day you're fine.
Yeah.
You'll be able to go do a base run. You won't have any issues at all. And in theory, you could do the same workout twice in the same day and you'd still be fine the next day. So it's not something that's going to hurt you long term. You'll recover really quickly from it, but you get all the benefits of getting good, solid work in at a faster pace.
And like teaching the legs how to quickly turn over.
Getting comfortable.
Okay, workout number 2. I have no idea what you wrote here. 1.5. Oh, sorry. You're like paraphrasing. I have a 1.5 mile warm up and a 1.5 mile cool down. And then I have 5 by 1K at tempo.
Yeah. So for these workouts that we're trying to do now is we're running at what her tempo pace would be, which is like
I guess
640, 630, somewhere in there. It just kind of depends on the day. Tempo definitely changes with how your body's feeling. So that can change often. But with these workouts specifically, since we're doing an interval style of workout, the goal is more so to push it. Like towards the end of the workout, the end of the workout, we want to be going a little bit faster. We're exceeding the threshold in the tempo world, and we're trying to go beyond that because we're trying to get comfortable running faster. So we're trying to push the boundaries of where we're at to try and make the boundaries broaden and get bigger. So
when I feel like mentally, I always try to make like my last miles, my last K, sorry, not mile. My last 1K is like my best one, my fastest one.
Yeah.
Is always like what I try to do. And then I feel like it was a successful workout because I held a solid pace and then I still had like gas left in the tank for the last one. Cause like when I did this workout this past week, it was all like 5:30 range. And then my last K was 5:25. I wish 6:20 pace was my last K.
Yeah.
And the others had been 6:30.
Well, and I mean, when we look at all the best runners in the world, they all finish their races like their last lap or their last mile or their last 5K of a marathon is always the fastest part of their race. I mean, you look at track athletes, they always finish super, super strong.
They still have plenty in the tank.
Exactly. So we want to emulate those sorts of things. And the way that you do that is you practice how you race.
Right. Absolutely. And I think it's then like a mental thing too. It's like when you're in a race, you don't gas it at the beginning and then you're crawling across the finish
For
line.
sure.
Like you want to be like when we marathon train, it's like when you hit 20, you still want plenty of the tank to now push it. The last 6 is always like the hope,
100%.
So anyways, that's what the week looks like. So how I generally stagger it is usually like I would start off Monday generally with a base run, and then I probably would pick Tuesday for a workout, Wednesday back to base run, maybe Thursday back to a workout, Friday base run, Saturday long run, Sunday day off. So I kind of like flip flop back and forth. So it's kind of like work out hard, recover, work out hard, recover.
Yeah, but not days, weeks like this where your long run is just time on feet.
Yeah.
Sometimes we'll
true.
go workout one day and then the very next day we'll do a long run.
You're right.
Because the point of workout number 1 where it's sub T, you're not supposed to be gassed.
Yeah,
so you should be able to do the workout and then the next day rock out a long run, and that's not a big deal at all.
I guess I was thinking about this week because this week, like, tomorrow's like some faster miles in there, so I didn't want to be like toast. But you're right. If it's time on feet, you shouldn't be stressing about what that pace winds up being.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's what my week looks like, and like I said, that is ending at 34 to 36 miles with that, which like for me, being like a mom of 3, that's good for me.
It's very manageable.
And then when we get into marathon training, like I usually peak. I'm trying to think, what did I peak around for New York? I think I had that really wild week, but I feel like that should be thrown out because that was like a crazy week.
You dabbled in the mid 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of where you were hanging out for the most part.
Yeah.
There's no real need to go higher than that. I mean, you probably will this year, just naturally you end up running more as you get fitter and stronger as a person. I mean, workouts, if you can handle bigger and harder workouts, you get a lot of mileage out of that.
Oh yeah, those days you end, you're like, oh cool, I got 7 or 8 miles in with like the warm up and the cool down and then the workout miles. It's like, oh, that was easy to just check off.
Yeah, in 3 days you can just eat miles, and then the base runs are just filler stuff.
Right. Yeah. But we keep the base run still like usually my base run isn't like my highest base run would be 6 miles.
Yeah.
When I'm marathon training.
Yeah.
So it's still like not a huge like time suck.
No.
It's
you're never going over an hour.
Yeah, it's very manageable.
Yeah.
Which I think is like the point we're trying to get across is that you can balance, like if you have that desire to be a higher performing athlete, no matter what your baseline is, like you just want more. But you see on social media all these women, I see at least, and I'm not saying it's a comparison game because it's not. It doesn't matter what somebody else does. You still have to do what works for you. But I guess I always find it interesting that I feel like I find so many women who are running those miles. I'm like, dang, they're running like double, almost double sometimes, like what I'm putting in. But then sometimes you see their times and it's like, we're running the same or, I'm right there. And so it's kind of like, is it worth an extra 35, 30, 20, whatever miles a week?
I like to call them junk miles.
Yeah.
Because they're not really serving any specific purpose. They're just junk. They're just filler and stuff like that. And your base runs more often than not are to clear all of the crap out of your legs so that you can go hard again.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not getting a whole lot of aerobic benefit out of running for 30 to 45 minutes.
Right. That's true.
It's just not how it works physiologically. But what you are doing is you're getting all of the junk from your previous workout out of your legs. You're shaking out the legs and you're getting ready for the next hard effort. And so you can put 3, sometimes 4 hard efforts in a week.
Yeah.
Because you're not tearing the body down with these longer base runs, and they're high volume workouts that when you stack weeks on weeks on weeks, it ends up paying off better in the long run.
I think something else that's interesting that you kind of just started adding in more recently, which myself and I know other athletes that you're training are specifically enjoying, is you're doing a couple or few weeks that are like heavier miles or like harder workouts but then you're doing kind of like a recovery week. So obviously we're still putting the miles in. We still have a long run, but maybe you drop off a workout or something like that, just so our bodies are like taking in all of that super hard, whatever it is, 2 or 3 weeks of hard training, and then our bodies like rest, recover, and then back at it.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that's been good for two things. Like one, the body, and then two, mentally. Like
Yeah.
I feel like when you're kind of like in like, ooh, like these are some harder workouts or whatever, but like, ooh, a rest week is coming. Like,
Yeah.
it's nice.
And then you're in the rest week and you're like, I'm excited to do a workout again.
Yeah.
It's like a vicious cycle of
Yeah.
torturing yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, when you talk like really long training blocks, I mean, let's see here. Our next marathon that we're going to do is in December, right? And so we're
And
going to
we're
have a bunch.
perpetually training.
Yeah, we're
Yeah.
always training. We're never taking like a full month off or anything like that.
No.
And so,
Unless there's an injury, obviously.
yeah.
But, yeah.
But even with like we're racing constantly all year and stuff like that. So you do this roller coaster type of thing where you're
Right.
training super hard and then you rest, and then you're training super hard and you rest, but you're constantly working your way up. You're always going forward and you're always getting better, faster, stronger. But you're giving your body adequate time to like fully recover and fully rest and absorb the training that you've just done for the last month.
Well, and to not have full blown burnout, because then you sadly see the
Yeah.
people who are just like, I'm over it, I'm done. Like, because you can only push and push and push so hard without any bit of recovery.
Yep.
Like it does kind of get mentally and physically exhausting.
For sure.
So
Yeah.